Okay, there it goes. Hello, and welcome. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Well, it was bound to occur at some time. We're going to be doing a stream of Warhammer 3 Total War. I have been playing this on my own since it came out. And I was thinking maybe I'd just hang off from it until, like, I don't know, like the first patch came out or when modding became a thing, because, you know, I kind of like showing off mods for the game, but there isn't any of them currently. But hey, let's do a campaign or a bit of gameplay of this before any of the mods come out or anything like that. Not that I'm rushing the modders. Let them have their time playing the game as well. Everyone should enjoy it. I have been having quite a bit of fun with it. There are a number of bugs in it. I haven't really been having too much problem with frame rates, but I think it's like how some of the units work in it, which are a bit iffy here and there. But yeah. So far, I have only played as Kislev. I have played 2 campaigns as Kostaltin. Well, I say 2 campaigns. I haven't finished either of them. The first one was my first session, and I was learning the mechanics for the faction, and I ended up being really behind on the whole soul race, so I started the campaign again. I also ended up losing in that campaign the struggle for supremacy against Katerin, which doesn't actually have that much of a downside when you lose. You just don't get any of the bonuses from the whole thing. You don't forcefully get confederated like you do when you win. Second campaign, I did succeed in that. But yeah, I've done a bit of the soul race. I think I've gotten 1 soul out of my 2 campaigns. It hasn't really been a major focus of me. If we do a campaign here, I most likely won't be focusing too much on the souls race. It's fun, and I like what they've got going there. It does kind of rush you around a fair bit, which I find makes it difficult for me to learn the faction mechanics as well. But it's neat. However, I kind of like going off and doing my own things, so we're probably going to ignore that as much as we can. We'll probably just be closing rifts and all that. We'll probably mess with the other factions because, hey, I like the idea of, like, taking the fight to them, then going into the realm of chaos. So yeah, let's just start a new campaign. We won't watch the cutscene because I've seen it. Other people have probably seen it, and it's kind of lengthy. Hello, welcome, Wex. I hope you're going well. This feels quite loud. I hope audio's alright. I turned it down a little bit. So yeah, as I said, so far, I have played as Kislev. I've unlocked the extra character. Should I? I understand not everyone will have played it, so I don't really want to spoil things. But naturally, by playing it, there is going to be spoilers. So if you haven't played this, and you have got it and are planning on, I would recommend it. Also, do the prologue. The prologue is really good. There's some great cutscenes in that. What else? I mean, it's hard to avoid spoilers because so much has just been covered before the game was released by CA and others. Certainly I knew about all these things before then, but my memory being shoddy means that I forgot a lot. Yeah, as I said, so far I've only played as Kislev. For the faction which we're going to play as, I don't really know. I don't really feel like playing as Grand Cathay. I don't think I'm going to play as Slaanesh. I'd like to play as Slaanesh, but I understand there's a bit of a bug with their chariots at the moment, so we might hold off on that. Out of the others, I was kind of thinking either Ogre Kingdoms or Nurgle. Because I would either like to stomp around with big lads or stomp around with plagued big lads as Nurgle. Because I like to look at their plague mechanics. Demon of Chaos and Demon Prince. Maybe. I feel that might be a bit too... I'd like to get a feel for the different gods units first individually. I don't know. And Zinch... Let's see. So if we've got the ogres... what have they got? They got camps, meat, which I guess is gold, and contracts. Okay, so you have to do jobs for people. I've seen these camps. They've been popping up in the Empire because of Scrag, who's down there. Have rather nasty garrisons in them. And Nurgle, I've certainly had to deal with as Castelton. Their plagues are quite annoying. One of them in particular is just, oh geez, I'm gonna have to spend several turns waiting for it to disappear so my troops can start replenishing again, because they're currently pooping out all their intestine. Also, their cyclical buildings sounds really interesting. There's probably going to be a toss-up between those two. Let's see. I'm gonna roll a dice between them. 1 to 3 is Ogre Kingdoms, 4 to 6 is Nurgle. It's a 3. Okay then. We'll do Ogre Kingdoms. I like how he slides into view there. And we've got 2 lords to choose from. Greasus Goldtooth here. Who has extra income from trade. No, hang on, that's faction. No, that's his faction effects. Yes, okay. So extra diplomatic relations with ogres. 25 income from trade and 25% unit mass, which means they weigh more and they're harder to push around. Also more income from raiding. Upkeep minus 50% for Iron Guts. That's really nice. Iron Guts are your heavy troops. We can have a look at the unit browser here. This is fantastic. I'm so glad they did this. It's really nice being able to have a in-game unit browser rather than that sort of online web page browser thingy which took several seconds to load up. This is much more immediate. But yeah, Iron Guts, armor 90. I fought against the ogres a little bit. And from comments from other people, they do have a lack of anti-large. The anti-large is basically Mornfang Cavalry, Crushers with great weapons, or Mornfang Cavalry with great weapons, Crushers with great weapons, Man-Eaters with great weapons, their Hunter Hero, and that's kind of it. Surprisingly, the Stonehorn with a harpoon launcher doesn't actually have anti-large on its missile strength, on its missile attack. You'd think it would, considering it's a harpoon, but oh well. Oh, Greasus also has anti-large on his attacks, but that's about it. So maybe we could... Let's see. Fighting against the ogres, I think, for what I found, is their leadership tends to be a bit of an issue. And they don't tend to be that heavily armored. Like, Iron Guts have got 90 armor, which is pretty high. But then everything else is, like, around 30, 40. Stonehorns have 110. But they're also, like, large targets. Mornfang Cavalry have 90, 100. 90, 130, 120. So they're pretty good. And the ones which have Iron Fists, they count as having a bronze shield. But they're kind of large targets, so it's easy to shoot them, I found. Okay. Let's see. Do I want to play as Greasus or Scrag? Frankly, Scrag creeps the bejesus out of me. like and am utterly repulsed by him. His character model on the tabletop was always really disturbing for me. I don't really know why. The fact that he's got his hands cut off, probably. This is coming from someone who played Skaven. I do like Gorges, though. It's got upkeep reduction for Gorges. And also capacity for Butchers. And campaign movement. He starts down below the Empire, I believe. Yeah, down here. Well, I might want to go somewhere else, because most of my campaigns have... Well, my campaigns have been all around here. So maybe I'll want to go somewhere else. Greasus would start over here. So I could either go north there or south along down here. Oh! I didn't click on done. Thank you very much. Should probably change the string category title. I had that set up and I had listed it out on OBS, but I hadn't pressed done. It should be updated now. Thank you very much. Sure, let's do Greasus. You forget to update it all the time too. Yeah, I know. It's well, yeah. It's just like, oh, I've put it in. It's done. Nope. There's an extra step. Okay. Let's play as Greasus. The Ogre Kingdom sprawl across the mountains of Morn. They've taken the peaks from the now extinct Sky Titans. This monstrous realm is a place of rocks, bone, and great beasts to be eaten or tamed. Perhaps kingdoms is a misnomer, for there is no king, but an Overtyrant who rules with an iron fist and demands tribute from the other race tribes in the form of meat and gold. He is Greasus Goldtooth. I travelled far from the mountains of Morn and beyond the Darklands in the east. This gives me time to ruminate on how to approach them and convince the Overtyrant to invade the Chaos Realms. Avarice is the key, for there is no one greedier than Greasus. The advisor here to me looks a lot like Obi-Wan Kenobi from the original Star Wars. Oh, you'll be streaming in a bit too, Wex. Okay, well, I hope you have a good stream. And thank you very much for the wishes. What will you be streaming? Is it going to be more Dungeons and Dreadful? It's nice that it has a continue button here, so I can actually read all of that. Chest Dreadmore Commandos, you'll see. Okay.
Ogres feast.
Hello, welcome.
Greasus, the
We'll watch this.
Their appetites are ferocious. I must be wary.
Time's up, wizard.
No.
Put him in the stew.
Wait! Untold power can be harnessed from a dying god.
Power? Ogres take what they want. What more power do we need? Boil the pot! Fresh meat!
Please wait! The god is up there! You can't devour it!
Quiet! A bear, you say?
Sounds tasty.
Shut up! A new meat. God flesh.
Enough for you, your warriors, and your god, the Great Maw.
I can smell it now. Roast god ribs.
A feast like no other.
You're no meat eater. What's in it for you?
My book reveals a path to his deathbed. I will show you the way for one drop of Ursun's divine blood.
One drop. But ogres get the rest.
That is the deal.
Well, okay. Interesting that Scrag was there. I thought Scrag was vanished, but oh well.
The ogres will eat their weight in god flesh and throw the leftovers into the Great Maw.
Okay.
I'm getting hungry, Yumi. Best start spitting out advice, or I'm gonna use your bones as toothpicks.
At once, Horde Master. The bear's roar has made the tribes restless. Other tyrants eye your mighty girth and are envious. The Cross Club's tribe plan to take your crown. Remind them who is the Overtyrant. Destroy them and subjugate any other tribe that dares to withhold tribute. The Firemouth is a sacred site. Claiming it by force or bribery is a powerful act and shall give you a base to expand westwards. Further south is the dwarf stronghold of Karak Azam. It should be cracked open and its riches added to your own. For we will require immense wealth if you are to hire the best ogres to invade the Chaos Realms. You will be busy, mighty trade lord, but the reward for your efforts is the god meat of Ursun. Let the feast begin, for the great maw hungers.
Okay. We'll see whether we get around to getting all the souls. I probably won't complete the campaign, as I said. But... defeat an army? Yeah, okay. Well. Relating to these dudes. What are they? Cross clubs. Okay. Oh, and we get a hunter from that. Fine. Right. Let's see what we've got.
The shockingly obese.
So we have 3 Noblars. Noblar trappers. Okay. They look pretty weenie. But there are 160 of them. We've got a Stonehorn. Okay. What's this missiles resistance? 35%. That's pretty nice. And yeah, I think all of our ogres have Wallbreaker, so that's pretty nice. Iron Guts. I got the armor. And armor piercing. Ogre Bulls with dual weapons and Ogre Bulls. Yep. Okay, these ones have got infantry bonus. They're the same as the ones which we had in Warhammer 2. Okay. What have we got in here? Ah, we don't have a large settlement. This was rather confusing to me from the beginning. Provinces don't have a capital. You can have a province full of minor settlements. As Consultant, that makes things quite difficult. I found I had to go and get Erengrad pretty quickly before I'd get... Well, I'd just lag behind too much if I didn't have it. Okay, so what have we got here? Goldtooth Tollgate. The Ivory Road passes close to the Overtyrant's Hall, so he has installed a massive counter-levered barrier that is only lifted when tribute is made. Okay. 600 income generated. Minus 10 diplomatic relations with the Ogre Kingdoms. Okay. So with our positive, we'd end up with a net of plus 10. And 25% income from trade. Faction-wide. On top of 25%. So we get 50% income from trade. That's pretty nice. And I've noticed that you can actually trade with other factions, regardless of whether you border their territory or not. Or have a port which connects you, which is quite nice. It makes things a bit easier in that regard. We have gold. Let's see. Gold has ever been lusted after by men, dwarves, and ogres. Small minds stop the old world. Their owners hoping to strike big. Okay. Once recovered on mountains, gold is smelted into bars or minted into coins, stamped with the head of Greasus. Okay. Is that a coin, or is that like a ring there or something? I guess it's a coin. We get 600 for that. It doubles it when we get to the level 3. What else have we got? Ogre Bulls. Okay, bestest weapon pile. Mornfang Lair, Mornfang Enclosure. Echo's Gorges. Okay, I'm surprised Gorges are unbreakable. I don't remember whether they were on tabletop or not. Defenses. Muck Trench. Crap Moat. Giant Stones. Heck. Guard tent. Okay, this is increases defensive supplies. And it gives you growth. This is minus corruption. But that gives you the same defensive supplies. So what's this? I guess either growth or that. Garrison of 2 ogre balls. Oh, this one gives you a bigger garrison. So I guess this is like if you want to build more of the defensive structures and towers. Whereas this one is if you want to rely on troops. The towers I found are pretty good. Do I kind of hold off until I can get like the level 3 towers at least, because I have explosive shots. What's this? Big rat trap. Yeah, I don't know whether... Okay, so there's not that many Skaven on the map, so I haven't had to deal with any undercities. But I think like the Chaos factions have sort of cultist settlements they can put in under settlements. I don't know whether they work the same as Skaven undercities or not. I shall have to play it and find out at some point. Okay, so growth building and casualty replenishment +9. Counting house 150. Stake locker. Meat generated 20. Local armies. Oh, so we actually have gold and meat. Right, okay. So it's not just a renamed gold. Where's that kept track of? Oh, for every army.
Of bosses.
Ah, right, so we have 50. They're consuming 10 per turn. Okay. All ogre armies are sustained by a supply of meat. Camps, settlements, and fighting battles will provide a supply. Surplus can be offered to the Great Maul. Right, yeah, so we can use it in a pre-battle feast to give ourselves bonuses. We can encamp. Raiding. Ah, raiding doesn't generate meat. Okay. But I believe the camps which we set up can generate meat. Right. And fire mount. Control +6, corruption -6. Okay, so that's the that's like control and religion building. Okay then. Guess we'll build level 3 or level 2. Does that just cost gold? Yes, it does. Okay. Oh, it actually lets you generate meat based on local armies. I guess they're like running around and hunting creatures and all that. Ooh, that reminds me. Another bug which is present in the game is a supply lines bug, where if you recruit a second army, or if you recruit another lord, like from here, and then you disband them, the supply line cost doesn't get recalculated properly. It shows that it goes down up here apparently, but the upkeep cost for your units doesn't go down. It only goes down if the lord is actually killed. So that's something else which I'm going to have to keep in mind. Just generally don't disband lords if you get them. It does make it a little annoying when you confederate. As Castelton, I had like a lord which I didn't necessarily need, but he's just sitting in a settlement because that's all I could do with him. Or you could go and get him killed, but anyway. Okay. What have you got?
Trade Lord, Tribe Stealer, Horde Master.
Thank you. Oh, another thing. Characters now go up to level 50. So you get a bunch of extra points from that. That's quite nice. What have you got? Bellower, Sword Noblars. +5 melee attack. Okay, look out, Noblars. 10% missile, physical resistance 5, greased Noblars. That increases speed, okay. Vanguard Deployment. That's impressive. spell resistance, bigger and stronger. Plus 8% for Ogre Balls. Camping. Camp growth plus 5 for all camps, all armies faction wide. And better camping. Meat provided by camps plus 50%. And domestic camping. Camp limit plus 1. Okay. What's your things here? Tribe Stealer. 30 diplomatic relations with Ogre Kingdoms. 10 melee attack when fighting against Ogre Kingdoms. And plus 20% weapon strength when fighting against Ogre Kingdoms. Okay. So we make better friends with them. And we also get bonuses of beating them up. Fine. Drake Crush. 14 bonus versus large. What have you got base? 25. Okay, so that puts you up to 39. Goldtooth. Plus 8 armor for the Lord's Army. And that's pretty nice. Plus 4 leadership Lord's Army. Unfortunately, Balthasar Gelt's not on the map, so we can't hunt him down to get plus 8 armor for the Lord's Army. I don't think any of the extra lords, like which you find around a map like that, like Manfred von Carstein, Ungrim Ironfist, or who else have I seen? Karl Franz. I don't think they have any of their unique items at the moment, because I've seen Manfred running around at like level 25, and he doesn't have any of his unique items. So I guess they'll be coming along when they release the campaign map. Overtyrant. 5% casualty replenishment rate, plus 1 recruit rank, and plus 1 local recruitment capacity. Okay. Ooh, larger gut plate increases your leadership. 15% extra hit points, sure. Another 15 there. Devastating charge. So what does he count as? Is he like a chariot? His speed is 35. It goes up to 39. No, hang on. He can get plus 15% speed. Yeah, okay. I wonder how fast we can make Greasus. Turbocharge his wheelbarrow. How much can we buff Noblars? Plus 6 leadership, plus 6 melee defense. Old Fang Cavalry. Tools of Destruction. Noblar Scrap Launchers. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's an artillery piece. Best Eaters. Beasts of the Mountains. Another unit I can't wait for, which I'll probably add at some point, is Yetis. Because I really like those. With their frost blades. Do any of these buff Noblars? No. Oh no, this does. Plus 10 armor and leadership plus 6. Okay. How much armor do Noblars have? 15. So that would give them 25. $33, I think. Or is it? Yeah, 30. I think it's 33 armor, which they'd have overall. That's just higher, I think, than Empire swordsmen, who have 30. Stand your ground, sure. I've actually found that reducing the amount of attrition you take is very useful in this game, because it seems like you're pretty much always taking attrition from some source or another, either chaos corruption, which is spreading, plagues, attrition from being under siege, because when you're under siege, you start taking attrition instantly now, which is quite neat. Makes you feel like you can always make progress on a enemy settlement. rather than sort of having to wait around. Because last time, because in Warhammer 2, it was like, oh, you'd have to wait for an average of like 6 turns before you started causing attrition on the enemy army. And that's just kind of too long to hang around sieging a settlement for. You'd build all your siege equipment before that. Lovely jubbly. Recruitment cost reduction. Don't usually take that. Income from raiding plus 30%. That would be nice with Greasus, because he's already got a bonus. 50%, so you can get that up to 80% income from raiding. Sacking. He does have a... Oh no, he does have a bonus for sacking. So that'll go up to 65. Lightning Strike. This is something which I actually haven't taken now. I pretty much always go for Lightning Strike beforehand, because it was a nice way to divide up enemy armies. But now that reinforcements are staggered during a battle, which is great, I actually haven't taken Lightning Strikes yet. It'd still be useful. But yeah, and the first 2 levels of it, because it's got 3 levels now instead of just 1, actually increases the amount of time the enemy reinforcements have to take before they arrive. I think on average, enemy reinforcements will arrive in like 2 minutes. Apparently that's modified further based on how high the legendary lord, how large of a gap in level between the 2 lords there are. I assume because the higher leveled lord has more skill than the lower leveled lord. Upkeep reduction minus 9%. But yeah, so like 50%, that would increase it to 3 minutes. Which that's quite nice. I wonder if there's any other ways to increase it. Minus 9% upkeep. I think that's lower than usual. I think it's usually goes up to 15. Extra income from looting settlements. Oh wait, hang on. That's sacking settlements. That's looting settlements. Yeah, okay. This was confusing in the previous 2 games. Because it's like, oh, there's a difference between sacking and looting, where they're kind of synonymous in my mind, but in the game, they're 2 different things. Sacking is where you just take money and run, and looting is where you take money and actually occupy the settlement. Brutish enforcers, plus 3 control, renowned and feared. Okay. I like these ones which give you a bunch of extra upgrades. Oh yeah, this was something which is weird. So we won't see this until he goes up a level, but all these icons are colored red. However, they're still broken down into yellow, red, and blue skills up here, and also in the little circle which appears up here. So it's like the UI change wasn't completely done. I would prefer if these were changed back to how they were before, just because it made it easy to divide it up. Anyway, that's enough of that. Oh, hang on. One more thing. What's these magic items? Scepter of Titans. 5% upkeep reduction. Income from post-battle loot 10%. Recruitment cost minus 10%. Okay, maybe we could get that. Minus 25%. Bonus versus infantry 4. Scepter of Titans. I like getting bonuses if they stack onto existing bonuses I already have, because that means that I get like even more out of them. I don't like single-mindedly focus on that, but it's something which I like to keep in mind. Build towards a character's already existing strengths. And this. Ooh, cooldown of 2 minutes. Okay. 21 seconds. 24 bonus versus large. Armor piercing 75%. Okay. Okay, that's a fair buff. Overtyrant's crown. Allegiance points gained. 10% for alliances with Ogre kingdoms. Okay, so we should not necessarily just beat up all of our opponents. Though, I could probably make better use of enemy territory than them owning it. Alliances, for if I had alliances with factions of my own, this would allow me to like recruit units, which they have in the settlements. Well, for anyone. Pardon, let me start that again. The alliance mechanic allows me to build an outpost in an enemy capital, or no, in an allied capital, not an enemy, and that can get me a number of units which they can recruit in that settlement available for me to recruit myself using allegiance points. So as Kislev, I could have maybe some units of Empire Spearmen or Halberdiers or artillery or whatever. It's quite nice. I like that I can see Norscan armies with some demon units in them. That's great. Having outposts in settlements of the same faction as yours is not necessarily beneficial in the same way as it is with other factions because you have the same units. But because the AI gets bonuses to growth in their settlements, that does mean you could potentially get some units earlier than you would otherwise. It's not something I've made use of. Mostly I'd liked outposts in my settlements because you get a few extra garrison units. So it's nice playing as Kislev and having like some Empire crossbows in my army just for the variety. Physical resistance 10%, Overtyrant's crown. Damage resistance 5%, immune to psychology, 35 meter radius, and infinite duration. Okay. A basin-sized crown encrusted with gems and nailed directly into Greasus Goldtooth's lumpy skull, which enhances his intellect to near human levels. Yeah, ogres aren't very smart. Okay.
Conquest.
That's a tiny army, lad. Okay, let's have a look. So we've got meat here. Okay, so I can spend 5 maximum. Speed 10%. Mass increase 10%. Charge bonus 10%. Is that reflected on the unit stat cards down there? 44. No. That would be nice if it actually showed up down there so I could see the difference. I don't think we need that for this army. This army is a piddly one. We'll just auto-resolve it. Okay. That is far more casualties than I would have taken. We are playing on hard normal difficulty. I have to keep that in mind. The difficulties have been substantially buffed up, I think. Hard is quite a bit harder than hard was in Warhammer 2. I want gold, meat, or replenishment. That's a piddly amount of replenishment. Let's get meat. Okay. And we get a hunter. Oh, we got Horde Master. And shockingly obese. Okay. Yep. Missions. The missions pop up down here. I kind of wish they still had the banner here, which you could use to list them out. Okay.
I'll find a shortcut.
I'll put you in there.
Must feast.
Also, as Kislev, I found most of my income was actually coming through these missions, because some of them are really generous. Like this one gives me 1,000 gold.
We'll throw a great feast.
Which helped a lot with, just constructing buildings everywhere. Okay, 50. Oh, I can't move you at all. Okay, you will just sit here.
Greasus Goldtooth.
This is a nice change to Inspiring Presence. It actually gives you 75 unit experience gain per turn. So I might get that just so it's going off constantly in the background. Well, what's this? Ooh. Offer to the Great Maw. Okay. I like the appearance of the Great Maw. You can actually see it on the campaign map. It's, over here. This massive pit here. I didn't really know what it would look like, because I don't know if there's been, like, a clear picture of it, but... quite interesting. Okay, so what have we got? Okay, 10 turns of 10 melee attack. 10 turns of 20% campaign movement range. 10 turns of -2 global recruitment. That's nice. And 10 turns of +5 wins of magic power reserve. Okay. Oh, per turn. I'm not entirely sure how the winds of magic work now. I've only been using a little bit of it as Castelton. Mostly just been old men bonking people on the head.
The Overtyrant always wins. Always!
Not too much magic.
They better do what I say.
Let's get that and that. And research. Camp huddle. Camp increase. Dismember. Okay, we'll get that. Right. Okay.
Look what I got for ya.
Oh, what's that say? A couple of ogres having a conflab quickly become a huddle as more and more gather around them. Conflab. Okay.
Hold, master.
And deploy camp. 2,000. Okay. What's the other settlements here? Crackerton, Amble Peak, and Grimtop. Okay. Oh, big name.
Overtyrant.
Leadership +8. Effect range 55 meters. Shockingly obese units. Mass 30%. Melee defense 5. Let's get Horde Master. Oh. Actually, it's... Huh. Okay. You have to swap them around. It feels weird to have, like, 2 of these unlocked after the first battle. Then you've only got 2 more to unlock. Rank up in raiding stance. Win a siege battle. They're pretty easy to unlock. Oh well. Okay. Right, we recruited 2 units. We got 1,000 gold. Grimtop. Okay, we get a potion of speed from that.
Tribe Lord. Move your legment.
Go over here.
Greasus needs a rest.
We'll set up camp again. And
Join me.
I'll recruit some more.
None may direct my recipes.
Oh, I missed a mod which allows me to remove the icon in the middle there. What have they got? Firebelly, Noblars, Trappers, Mornfang, Ogre Bulls. Okay.
I'll be only the great Maw.
You're recruiting a few units, right?
Greasus, the shockingly obese.
Oh, you're actually consuming 3 more food now, I think. Ah. Is it consuming 1 food per unit in the army? But the hunter and Greasus doesn't count. Because we've got 15, but it's 13. Okay. I wouldn't think Noblars would count for that. I can't see Noblars eating the equivalent of 1 ogre. I guess there is 160 of them, but even then. Okay.
There's no gaps, bigger. This'll bring me spoil.
Let's see. You're over there. What have you got?
Butcher any who interfere.
Ogre balls, ogre balls. Okay, let's attack. Settlement battles have changed a fair bit. I haven't gotten a good feel on what I can deal with my armies because of all the extra towers and barriers and all that, but let's see. I want the extra speed. Charge and mass. Do we need that? I think I'll be fine. Okay, let's fight this. It's not like it's increasing my defense. Actually, do we have any ranged? The hunter's got a ranged attack. And the reinforcements coming from over here. Okay. It's nice that it displays them on the map like that. I like his purple mask. Okay. One of the other neat things about how the reinforcements arrive is if these were my reinforcements, you can actually click on and drag the reinforcement flag here and tell them to appear from somewhere else. I don't think you can move them too far from where they're planning on moving into the map. In one battle I was having, they were arriving kind of in the same place and my army started over here, and I couldn't move them to appear behind my army. I could move them to appear like over here, but over here I couldn't. Moving this does increase the amount of time it takes for them to arrive, and it only shows how much it increases when you actually stop moving it. So, but that's also quite a neat thing. You can move, you can tell them to sort of appear in a bit more of a beneficial position.
Bring us meat. Hungry.
Okay. You can go there, you can go there. Little thing here is these icons aren't centered.
I seek.
It'd be nice if they were.
The Overtyrant.
Okay, we'll just attack from one direction. What we got? Noblars.
Where's me master? When do we eat? Hungry. These ogre mates. Take it all.
Noblars. They're kind of like goblins, except I don't know, like crueler.
Meat.
Ogre bulls, stonehorn. That looks neat. Big stompy monster. I got the iron guts with their big two-handed weapons. I think I remember seeing a picture someone did. They had actually scaled this and made one of their own of this sword here. And compared to a normal human, this sword is absolutely massive. And we got Greasus on his cart. And all of his gold. Okay.
Greasus Goldtooth. That I choose here.
Let's move up.
Work up an appetite, boys. We got quite the feast ahead of us.
Oh yeah, they've got like little speeches which they say at the beginning of battle, which is nice.
Iron guts.
Okay, so we'll take you
Hunter.
like that.
Devour them.
Okay.
Spare 'em.
Oh, they're building a wall over there.
Tracker, trapper, killer. Most prudent. I want it all.
Hold on. Ah,
Where's me master?
turn that off.
When do we eat?
Charge over there. Come on.
On it.
Right, unit cohesion went down.
Serve the ogres.
Don't worry about it.
Swarm together. I'll smell ya. All together. When do we eat? Hungry.
Okay. Yeah, you can smash through that, I guess. They're building a tower over here. They'll be attached to that point.
Take it all.
Okay. Do we want to deal with these guys up here?
I ain't no gobbo. What said so? Form a tribe. Nasty plan.
Okay.
For the boss.
You can just go over here. These trappers have Noblar trap ability, which slows down enemy units. What? What are you going up there for?
When do we eat?
Greasus, you went the wrong way, lad. Yeah, whatever.
Noblars. Stalker of prey.
Okay, go up there.
Greasus Goldtooth.
You haven't broken yet? These ships all still perfectly fine. Turn around and charge into there. Oh.
Tyrant.
Well, if their lord is right there, go beat him up.
Windthopper. This way.
Yeah, you can attack him as well. What's that?
Serve the ogre.
Hold on. Something's affecting you. What is it? Oh, is it the trapping ability? Charge speed's gone down. Right. He's been hit by the Noblar's trap skill. Oh, there it is, up there. I was looking for it down here. Okay.
When do we eat? On it.
How are things going over here?
The hunt continues.
Okay.
I smell game, so I hunt.
The ogres don't really sound as I would have expected.
Ogre mates,
I guess I expected them to have deeper voices.
overwhelm them. Take it all.
Okay, we got that point. They still haven't run.
I seek. Master Seeker. Shrewd.
Yeah, can you throw a harpoon against them or something? What? There you go.
Genius.
I hope they have some, like, dismembering of the ogres when they release a blood pack.
Don't need each other. my sights!
That tower is hurting me.
Eternal. For conquest!
Still haven't run. There you go.
Smash them to pulp!
No, look, they're Butcher is coming back. Oh no, that's their lord. The Fire Valley was just a hero for the settlement. Okay. Oh, with their reinforcements. Right.
The strongest.
Where are you going?
When do we eat?
Get back over here.
Fattest, strongest, richest. All master moving.
Yeah. Bribe those guys.
Master Predator. Suits me. Limb from limb. Ugly. Greasus Goldtooth.
It is taking quite a while to chew through all these ogres.
Off we go. Bring us meat. These ogre mates. Helps the tribe.
Okay, can you like throw some daggers at them?
Oi, drop back.
You can. You didn't do anything.
Where's the meat? Thus said so. Thundering forth. Greasus Goldtooth. Nobblers, carry me. Go over here. Overtyrant going. Eat them alive. Tell boys. Me. Ah.
Well, save the Noblos. Okay, there we go.
Iron guts. This way. I ain't no gobbo.
I think they're beginning to shatter because of army losses.
Overtyrant's all.
Yep, there they go. Oh, I think it would have to like fight all the way up the settlement, but they keep sending troops to reinforce the positions. So we don't really need to go all the way up there. Have a look at the settlement. These new maps, they look really, really nice. I keep looking around them to see if there's any like little hidden details. But there's so much stuff everywhere, it's kind of mind-boggling. I mean, in any of these games, it's just kind of amazing to me because it's like, this could work perfectly well for a first-person game. You have like an RPG set in this or something. Got skulls everywhere. A rickety bridge. Oh, there's a lookout post up there. I guess for Noblars? I wonder if they have like houses specifically for Noblars. That, maybe? They just live in lean-tos. There's a little bit of slowdown when I look certain ways. Could be the smoke effects for what I've read. Other than that, I have turned... let's see. The main things is I turned shadows from ultra to high. And I put anti-aliasing on FXAA. Instead of TAA, because that improved frame rates quite a lot for me. Okay, what's this thing? Oh, a path. Okay, There we go. Okay, fine. The narrow pass has gummed up all my units. We're learning about vampiric bloodlines. Okay. Interesting. How about that? 1 hour in and we've got our first battle done. A second battle done, because the altar resolved the first one. Wouldn't want to be too fast. We'll occupy it. Okay. Rough gut. He gets Big Bellower. Okay. We get 1,000 gold and a potion of speed. Ride the Ivory Road. Maintain control of the following one province, either by direct ownership or through vassals and military allies. The Ivory Road province, right. Well, that's this province.
Got any meat?
I'll probably take all of it. Dragon Helm. 5,000 gold in treasury, yeah.
Greasus,
Like,
the shocking
if that is a ruin, and then Amble Peak, that's really not that difficult for 5,000.
tribe lord.
What do you have? You have a Stonehorn. Gutsy. This one has guts, quite literally. A surfeit of stomach is, in fact, you might say, but also the confidence to back up his bulk. Lucky Noblars. Sword Noblars. Lookout Noblars. These were things which you could take on the tabletop, at least. The Lookout Noblars were. I think they gave the unit which they were in a chance to avoid damage from ranged attacks. So that's a pretty neat way to work it into the unit with missile resistance. Let's see. Independent Mind. Ooh, Vanguard Deployment. I could Vanguard deploy you with some saber tusks, couldn't I?
No
That was something you did on the tabletop. Oh, they don't have Vanguard Deployment. Maybe he could give them to it. Give Vanguard Deployment to them. Can I give that to them?
Greasus Goldtooth.
Let's see. Charge bonus. Rapidus fighters. No. Melee attack. No. Okay, let's check the hunter. Ah, there we go. Vanguard deployment for saber tusk packs. Nice. Ooh, he actually gives a bunch of buffs to them. That's cool. This is something which would be neat to have on in some other factions. Like if you had, I don't know, an example like Norskins. You could have like a Norskin minor chieftain or something, like the Skaven chieftain, the hero version, and they could have like buffs for Norskin cavalry or something like that. I mean, they already have Vanguard deployment, I think so. But I like the idea of having a unit tuned to work with another unit like that. Stalk gives them frenzy and roaming free. Okay. Can I actually get
Must feast.
saber tusks? No. Okay, they're there. Well, we'll remove that, and we'll be able to get it. Hang on. Actually, no. We'll delete that there, and we'll build it in the Great Hall of Greasus.
Too rich to walk.
Route Marcher. That's only 5% campaign movement range now, not 10. We'll get Tribe Stealer. And Goldtooth.
More spoils. Nice and shiny.
And what else should I go to? What do you get? Stimulate growth, increased mobility, up to 15%. Assassinate assault units. Ooh. I like that skill for whittling down enemy units. I don't think Kislev actually gets assault units. They get assault unit, which is you damage a specific unit in an army, whereas this one damages the entire army, which I find is a lot more useful. So we might actually get a hero with that at some point. What else do you get? Range increase, stalk, assault unit. Oh wow. Okay, so you can get minus 30% extra casualties inflicted from assault units. And I'm assuming that trait which you can get is still present for an extra like 5 to 10%. 40% extra casualties. That would be really nice. I can increase mobility because you're in the army at the moment. Yep. Okay.
Boss of bosses.
You're fine there.
The
How much?
Overtyrant.
Do I want more money coming in? Can I see anyone to trade with? Crap towers. Oh yeah, there's the Dragon Fang. Or these islands down here. What are they called? Dragon Islands? Dragon Fang Mount? There's lizard men down there. Maybe we could make friends with them. That way we could get a Carnosaur or something in our army. What's that thing? Oh. It's a pit covered in snow. And a, cauldron. Ogre cauldron covered in snow. Refrigeration.
Tribe stealer.
Oh, what did you get?
Old master.
Big bellower. Okay. I kind of wish it still told me how I unlocked this. Even if I have unlocked it. If it just had, like, this down here. That'd be nice. I can get all these, can't I? I think so. Yeah, +8 leadership for units within range. Okay. Enter. There you go. We get this. Population surplus. 1 for newly deployed camps. Oh, okay. So you get a point of population as soon as you create it. And dismember. That's what they were using on me. Were they? That's quite useful. Slow the enemy down so you can countercharge them. Deploy a camp. See. The camps cost money to construct. They may be deployed in controlled, allied, or enemy territory. Own camps exert a circle of influence around themselves, within which armies of the same faction can benefit from recruitment, replenishment, meat, supplies, and extra army abilities. Other races may also recruit units into an army positioned close to an ogre camp, provided that they are not at war with the owner. Oh yeah, you can like... Yeah, thanks. You can hire units for them. I actually forgot about that. Rag banner. 20 new units. Current total, 0.
Greasus.
Let's go finish you off. I said let's go finish you off. Get back here, lad. Oh, come on. Okay. Let's go hide. And I will get Mornfang Glare and... let's get... yeah, let's get gold. What have we got? Noblar Scavenging. Wait, what? Income from raiding 50%. How much income from raiding can I get? Yes? It's like 50% on top of my 50%. Or whatever he can get. Where was that? Well, there was 30% from that. And there was... yeah, rating 50%. So he gets 100%. Then he can get 130%. Plus... yeah, okay. Right. Wait, what's that last one? Snacks. Ah, okay. Regeneration. Leftovers. It becomes just a Snorlax with leftovers. Oh, hey, there's Skaven down there. Infecticay. Oh, they foiled by ambush. Well, you ran into the wall, so we can get you now.
Let's get conquesting.
Oh, I get talisman and preservation from them. Nice. Looks like there's meat for the pot, boys. Close. I'll ransom them.
Too rich to walk.
He gets Magic Hunter. And they are no more. Well, that guy's dead. Okay. Sure, I'll take a 70% ward save on Greasus.
The Overtyrant always wins. Always!
Let's give you that.
Boss of bosses.
And
Tribe stealer.
we'll charge you up here. Okay. Oh, hello, who are you? Jinfu. Oh, you're a caravan. Okay. Caravan has made a temporary rest here. The army cannot move or attack, but will defend itself if attacked.
Indubitably.
I've kind of seen these wandering around Kislev. I guess they sort of go to a point and then disappear. Sometimes it seems like they've gotten stuck. They just sort of sit there, but...
that's why I'm in charge.
I haven't bothered them myself.
More's chosen.
The Zargs. Isn't that the tribe which tend to the Great Moor? They're like located around here primarily. I know very little about the ogres. I actually have some ogres of my own. But I never finished painting them. They're large models to paint. I always like the greasy bluey grey color which they painted the original ogres in. Got you. You're located in Zarnagrund, where the Chaos Dwarves will hopefully be eventually. I'm like 100% certain that the Chaos Dwarves will be added.
The Overtyrant. We move.
Okay, we'll add you up there and just end turn. Right. I think we've got around until turn 30 before the portals start opening up. Oh, what's this? Noblar Prosthetics. Enterprising Slaughtermaster hits upon the idea of fashioning crude, oversized slip-on noses and ears for leftover scrap of hide. Desirous of these absurd prosthetics, countless noblars flock to your cause, for in their abhorrent society, there is no greater sign of station than a bulbous snout and mammoth lugs. Okay. There's a great picture of, like, noblars, and one of them has got a prosthetic nose, except he's replaced his nose with a large knife. Hello, welcome, Philfink. Hope you're going well. Fine, I'll take a instant minus 30% upkeep for noblars, minus 50% recruitment cost for noblars.
Old master.
You all right?
Whatever I
It's good to hear. I guess you're still on the road to
for Greasus now.
recovery. So what's your attacks? 45, 25 armor piercing. And you don't count as having armor piercing? 25 is pretty good. I guess I've got 31 that don't have armor piercing. You've got 75, don't you? Yeah, 70. I'm sure I've seen units with lower armor piercing than 25 and count as having armor piercing. Well, we'll get 2 units of saber tusks. He can have some cats to follow him around.
Notice you're not from one of my tribes.
I think maybe the major criticism I have of the ogres so far is like Greasus sounds like Grimgore, except not as deep. So he doesn't feel as unique in that regard. I guess they would have the same voice actors as some of the greenskins, but they just kind of sound like orcs. Anyway. But you're recovering. Oh, I hope you're taking it easy. Sure. I will trade you for a few coins. Oh, indeed. Good to hear.
We're being treated like meat.
You get eaten. Sure. Get the Moor Cave, get a gold mine.
Tribe Lord.
And I want you to move up to here.
Move your legments. Only what I listen to.
What do you got?
is me.
Gar and Molcrad. You're getting armies of noblars.
Overtyrant. Greasus Goldtooth.
Okay, let's get some more noblars there. And I will spend money and raw to get melee attack plus 10. There we go. And turn. They're around their settlement. I like that banner for Karakazorn. Who leads that?
My axe thirsts for war.
Scorry Stonebeard.
Talk at me in your crude language if you must. I make no promises as to the outcome.
You got 40 aversion to me. You've got 10 aversion to me. You've got 40, 10, 10, 10. I would have thought that other races wouldn't have too much aversion to ogres. You've got none. That might be because you haven't met me yet. You've got minus 10. Because ogres are kind of like neutral. They basically eat everyone. But you can reason with them, so they're not completely hated like greenskins.
Boss of bosses.
What's that? Okay. Oh, that's how much meat we've got. Okay. So we're eating 19 per turn. We've got 25.
I'm in charge at last.
Let's build a camp here. I don't want my boys to starve.
Tyrant of the tribe.
So how's that going to affect things?
The Overtyrant.
Ah, this army is not consuming meat as it is within a camp's circle of influence. Okay. And circle of influence is about that large. Okay. Can we increase that? Well, it requires 20 population surplus to get it up to the biggest. I got... Hold on. Looking at building browser time again. Ah. Okay, right. These are basically capitals. Capacity +1 for hunters. Recruit rank +3. Big Crusher Rock. Thunder Charge. Armies in Circle of Influence. What's that do? Lead Belchers. I've seen that Lead Belchers are apparently really, really good. Though there can be a little bit of difficulty getting them to, like, shoot the proper targets. Gluttony. 12% casualty replenishment rate. Minus 30% upkeep for units in the camp. Oh, I guess I recruit units directly into the camp. So I guess the camp counts as like a lord? Like a stationary lord? 1,000 income generated. Meat generated 15. Armies in circle. Feast table. Okay. Would that mean that we wouldn't, while we wouldn't be, like, using meat, we would be gaining meat for every army in the region? Every army in the circle. Meat gained from battles. Up to 20%. Capacity for butchers. 12 leadership. A recruiter's hut. Striding straight past a recruiter's tent, this hut is where the really hungry and most travelled man-eaters go to get their next gig. Camp growth, local recruitment capacity. Okay. Put some fried chicken next to the target, they'll notice it then. Have to be a pretty large chicken. Now I'm getting hungry, damn it. I had a steak for dinner. It's not enough. I think they eat it far more rare than I would be willing to eat. Yes, I'm one of those people. Kind of want more food. Not more food, more gold. Replacement would be nice. Let's get meat. We need that.
Hold, master.
What's your garrison, anyway?
Do what I say.
Oh, we get the better of swiftness. Okay. Oh, I can recruit from my settlements in there. Ah, okay, so yeah, right.
Want everything.
So I guess it's kind of like a lord permanently in a horde in camp mode. You can't take him out of it.
Obey me or your dinner.
This is a garrison, and here's the yeah, camp tyrant. Doesn't have skills, so I can't level him up. Noblars, ogre bulls. Does he level up with the No, okay.
There's no guts bigger. Anything they loot belongs to me.
Let's get... Actually, forget that.
Tribe Lord.
We can't get up to there.
I obey only the great Lord.
He's got a bunch of Noblars, and his garrison is... the same as what we fought before. Camp growth plus 20 when in enemy territory. Melee attack plus 5. Sharper weapons do more damage. Something many ogres learn from watching their butchers at work. Better bribes. Let's go along that. Getting a casualty replenishment.
It helps me.
Okay. I would like to attack you outside of your settlement. Let's go attack Granick. Ah, you're out of range. Okay then, never mind.
Greasus always wins.
Let's sit here for a turn. We'll get some attrition on them. Or if they attack me, that will be fine.
Your tribe ain't fit to live.
Okay. If it doesn't scream, it's overcooked. I can't say I share the opinion. Yeah, there we go. Outside of the settlement, it's much easier. Okay. Thug. Well, it's an honest name. I like a bunch of the names in this. There's one of the Zinch characters. They can get the name Liar Liar Panzerfire, essentially. Okay. Oh, they're appearing behind me. Okay. Can be a little difficult to like mouse over the different ones. So I have to get close enough. If you're too far away, like over here, they overlap with each other. Saber tusks, you can go over here with the hunter. You can go there. Iron guts go here. Ogre lads there. Ogre lads there.
Fattest, strongest, richest.
Greasus goes there. And put you like that.
The more cool. When do we eat? Become a wall of meat.
Actually,
I'll smell ya.
there we go. Okay.
Greasus Goldtooth. I choose here. Conquest is why we're here. And conquest is what we do. Easy.
His wheelbarrow does look a little odd, but I understand it's much more reasonable than the carpet and pile of noblars he was carried around on the tabletop.
I smell game.
Okay. Off you go. Can you keep up with them? Let's see. They've got speed 105. You got speed 63. That's actually not too bad. So not really, but... Oh, what are we doing? It's an army of noblars, so don't have to be so careful. Go over here.
I ain't no gobbo. The quarry is mine. We's Ogre mates.
You lot go back there. Oh, he's casting magic.
The Overtyrant. Eternal.
Bonk.
Serve the Ogres. This way. Find them and kill them.
Yeah, they're not gonna last long. Chase after those ones. Okay, 2, 1, and there are the reinforcements. Okay, turn around. I have to be a bit careful about their vigor. one of the nice things as Kislev is all your patriarchs and Costelton. He can basically shout at his troops and they recover their vigor. It's like, you're not feeling tired anymore. They're like, okay.
Here we go! Greasus Goldtooth. Me!
Okay, come on, get up there.
Serve the ogres! Take it all! Greasus Goldtooth.
That's fine. Whatever. Okay, get back over here. Wait, hold on. How does this trap ability work? Passive ability. Uses 1. Damage per second. 1325. Speed minus 45%. Charge speed minus 4. Yeah. Range is 5 meters. Effect range is 10 meters. What? They automatically use it on a unit nearby within 10 meters. And it affects all units in that area in 5 meters. Affected units if they're grounded. Can use if not moving. Okay. I guess they have to get charged, basically, and then they use that ability.
When do we eat? Hungry! Noblars attack! Crush them!
I mean, fine, whatever. I don't care about them. They're Noblars. They can get charged all day.
Take it all! Stop her! When do we eat?
You can go up there, charge those Noblars.
Greasus Goldtooth. I want it all. I'll crush them. I seek.
Okay, send your kitty cats up here. They can sneak through there. Go and attack them. Cast Dismember. Slow them down. Okay, are you done over there? That guy is taking far too long. Just keep clobbering him. So far, my ogre battles have been very messy.
Call me Overtyrant.
No. You don't want to fight for them, do you?
Killing time. Biggest in the tribe. Look, here we go. Done. Take it all.
No. My cats.
Where's the meat? When do we eat? Greasus Goldtooth. Hungry.
You're not doing too well against that guy.
Ogres. Hungry. Serve the ogres. Serve the ogres. Iron guard. Find a meal. Scourge of beasts.
Yeah, hit some of them with your
When supper.
with your whatchamacalled.
Hungry. All right.
Harpoons. Yeah, there you go. You just harpooned someone across several meters. Oh. Come on. One of those guys over there. He curved that one.
Greasus Goldtooth.
Okay, charge over there. There's a bunch of Noblars which haven't broken
The
yet.
quarry is mine.
Oh, hang on.
Them down. Hunter moving. Leg it.
See if you can take out the Mournfang. There you go. Good shot. Can you take out another one? Well, you hit it, I think.
The more calls. It's happening.
Hey, nice.
Tracker, trapper, killer.
You're pretty good at that.
I hunt. Take it all. Eat them alive.
How much damage do you deal? Fair bit. Hey, there we go. Well, I feel like that could have gone better, but we'll learn.
Killing time. It's happening.
I'm kind of surprised we don't, like, carve through the Noblars a bit faster. Got 26 melee defense. They're not
When do we eat?
29, 27. That's from a buff, though. 18, 26, 21. 4 armor piercing. Yeah. I guess we are killing them. There's just a lot of them.
Where you going? Where you going?
Okay. Ugh. If I had some more cavalry, I would chase them down, but I think my saber tusks were still rampaging, so oh well. 203 kills for one of them, though. 220 for the Stonehorn. 76 for Greasus. 159 for one of my ogres. They got up to rank 7? No, rank 1. Right. And this is nice that you can now mouse over the chevrons and see the bonuses they're actually getting.
Mate, I call the shots here. Get out if you don't like it.
Hello? What have you got? Oh, a trade agreement. Sure. Yeah, looking among the chevron bonuses for Kislev units, I did notice they were slightly different between units. I think the armored Kossars had 1 extra point of melee attack, which they gained, over the a unit of rank 9 Streltsy. Armored Kossars with great weapons would get like 9 melee attack, I think, from their ranks, whereas the Streltsy would get 8 melee attack. Noblar Thief Stone. A quick pass over a corpse with this stone will quickly stick any item of any importance firmly to it. Oh, it's a magnet. 50% post-battle chance of stealing a magic item. Wait, what? Damage resistance, 15%. Stalk and unspottable. Duration infinite. Enabled if out of melee. Huh. Yes, okay. And a banner of swiftness.
Greasus always wins.
That sounds really good for our hunter. Rough gut. I mean, having an ogre now is like unspottable is pretty nice. He is super sneaky.
Conquest.
And I will give you the potion of speed. Let's give you a better swiftness too. I'm gonna try and get you to be as fast as possible. Oh, this is something else. I'm pretty sure that swapping items around is now instant, which is really nice. You don't in Warhammer 1 and 2. You have to wait a turn for either the items or the ancillaries to get allocated. But in this, I'm pretty sure you can swap them around as you wish. Yeah. Oh, and it actually swaps the item between the two characters you're taking it from. Okay. But that's nice. Let's see. I will give you... Let's get you Drake Crush. And we'll get you Overtyrant. We'll get your custom tree. And you get running with the pack. How does one combat a pack of angry, charged saber tusks? Is a question usually asked moments before tragedy. Vanguard Deployment for all the cats. And we'll just auto-resolve this, I think. We'll put the banner of speed on you. Gives it Strider as well. Speed's still 35. Okay. Get out of there. And... yeah, we just occupy. And we get Pigeon Plucker Pendant. And Thug has been killed. And Cross Clubs is now no more.
The shockingly obese.
Okay, what's this? Stew Kitchen. And we've got a gold hoard. 50 gold. I think I'll build a big slab instead.
Trade Lord.
Okay.
Tribe
You can get
Old Master.
4% upkeep reduction would be pretty nice. Their master's voice. When the beast master says jump, his pets only wait to hear how high. Oh wait, he can have Vanguard Deployment on a Stonehorn. Let's get roaming free. Well-trained saber-tusks who can roam freely, prowling the land for their next unsuspecting meal. Okay. Makes them a bit cheaper. Actually makes it cheaper than Ogre Balls.
My army. My ogres.
I will get another unit of saber-tusks.
Greasus. The shockingly obese.
And you went up another level. Let's get... Unstoppable Force.
More spoils. Nice and shiny. Too rich to walk.
Okay, so we'll be going down here next to get Krakaten. Oh, did we just get that? We don't have to do a quest for it. Okay. -5 upkeep. 10% income from post-battle. Recruitment cost -10%. Bonus first infantry 4. And Scepter of Titans. Yeah, okay.
No
Yeah, just got it. Okay. Get the big slab. And another big slab. What's that say about it? This is where the ogres gather to throw on all their spoils and as yet uneaten meat.
Overtyrant. Greasus Goldtooth. Greasus.
Okay, let's head down here.
Tyrant of the tribe.
Can I abandon camp? I might want to move this down further north. Further south, pardon. How much food do you have?
Trade lord.
I can't see. Oh, there you go. You got 52. Right, so you do actually gain meat from the
Tyrant of the tribe.
from the camp, even though you're not consuming any. You're just getting a net bonus there.
Boss of bosses.
Okay, we'll get a weapon pile, and
Do what I say.
do I want to upgrade this again? Yeah, I kind of want to build it and just move it down here so I can take advantage of it around settlement here. But putting it in like a crossroads is a pretty good place. We're going to be eating 20 food every turn outside of it. Okay. End turn.
Can't help but notice you're not from one of my tribes.
Okay, hello. You want a trade agreement too? Sure. Trade with everyone. Contracts. What have we got? Lazargs. Eliminate the following character. Yingzi Bailey. 500 treasury and plus 40 diplomatic relations. Squatter rights. Clan Balkan. Caracazorn. Oh, they want me to go there and take that. The Skaven had come to me and told me to take out the dwarves. And you want me to eliminate Gad, the Blood War tribe, which is there. They will actually give me 25 meat, which is not much. Who do you want me to fight? Some dude over here. Okay. Oh, floating rocks. Okay, you've got those settlements. Do I have a time limit for these? I guess I could do that. 500 is not too much, but sure, we can make our way over there after I deal with these Skaven down here.
I said move! Greasus, the shockingly obese.
Right. And we're getting the borehole.
I'm the boss.
And where's the next upgrade I can get? Give me another camp. There, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, okay, each one of those gives me another camp.
Hold, master.
In charge.
I guess I'll... Oh, hang on, hang on. Get the spare tent so we get more growth. I guess I'll keep it there. We can hop back up there again.
Biggest gut in the land.
Yep. And we should get enough food after we fight these guys down here.
Give me a reason not to eat you.
Nope, someone else. Thorg. Sure. We research whetstones.
There's no gut bigger.
And we get loot pile.
Trade lord, tribe stealer, horde master.
Okay. Roll down here.
Assassin!
What have we got? We have a master assassin. Okay, are you actually spreading Skaven corruption?
Someone better keep us sweet.
Oh. Odd. Okay. Upgrade Amble Peak. And intern.
The world is mine.
Hello again, what do you want?
And we've not got a problem.
Non-aggression pact. Fine.
See ya.
It's weird not having, like, demons charging all over the place. That's a problem with Costelton. It's just demons all the time. Okay, what have we got? Ah, good, you get to see the army there. They have a full stack in there.
The doom is coming.
Which is a bunch of Skaven and Skaven slays with slings. I guess a settlement's got a garrison as well.
Full of master.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Greasus always wins.
We'll just encircle their settlement. I'm pretty sure they'll attack me next turn. And get that. Enter. Come on, Skaven.
See their way out of any problem. Don't be a problem.
Non-aggression pact. Sure. Everyone's so friendly.
The meat
Ah.
harvest begins.
Skaven didn't attack me.
Meat,
We can see they took attrition.
their meat in my gut.
Let's get frenzy.
Kill 'em. They
Okay. What have we got here? Right. That looks like a mess. I haven't seen that settlement yet. Oh, one of their armies ran away. Okay. No problem. Greasus speed is up to 44. Okay. Huh. That's a neat visual. Let's have a look. Okay, big stinky pit. Some mushrooms. Giant carved rat heads. Or skaven heads. I think I saw something similar on the settlement map for or the city map for Hell Pit. Yeah, actually, I think this is quite similar to the Hell Pit map. Except there was walls. Like along here, maybe. A big drain. Oh, great. It's one of the capture points. You have to capture the sewers. Okay. Let's see. Where do I want to attack from? I can go from here. That's the widest avenue. Or up here. Go across the bridge. I'm not going to be able to... I'm not going to be getting into their settlement, am I? It's just going to be me hacking away at Skaven the whole time. Let's go for... That's working uphill.
Ogre hunter.
I can put you a little bit closer. Okay. Maybe I'll split some of you up. And you. And you. And the trappers. I guess you can go there. You don't really have enough range to, You are sneaky, though. Let's put you over here.
Tyrant of tyrants!
When do we eat?
Okay.
We's ogre mates! Overwhelm them!
Try looking for meat!
That's not exactly what I told you to do.
It suits me.
I guess you could do that. Oh, hang on. There's some spears there.
So
Okay.
I hunt.
Turn around, go this way.
Hungry!
Divide and conquer!
Ah, no blood!
The pathing for grouped units seems a little weird. Oh, I can't go there. Oh, that's a path which goes around that way. I thought it was going that way. Okay.
The Overtyrant, eternal.
That way.
Noblars!
Maybe you could go up there.
Where's
It could put you up on a bridge. And you can throw knives down from above.
Bring us me! The strongest, the fattest.
the quarry is mine!
The folk got
Find in the
spears.
trail. So I hunt. Chasing prey. Seeking prey.
Okay, go back down there. The map seems to have a lot more choke points in the previous game, at least in this environment. Yes, it's one of the
Where's me master?
one of the larger changes they made in this in Warhammer 3.
Call me Overtyrant.
Settlements have a lot more
Drive on the move.
avenues of access,
Crunch.
and there's actually a whole system of So you can see there's this tower they built here. The defender has supplies, which they generate from these points around the place. And they can build either barricades to block off a passage, or these towers on set points on the map. And if I take the point, then everything attached to it gets destroyed. But they're constantly generating these, so they can build them up around the place. They're building another tower over here currently. You can still go for the flag here. And I think if you hold that, you'll still win the battle like you do in Warhammer 2. But there's a lot more to keep in mind with this. Which is nice. It adds a fair bit more variety. It makes the settlement battles a lot harder. Because the towers are actually quite damaging. But I think overall it's a good thing. It makes it easier to defend a settlement against larger numbers of enemies.
The ultimate hunter.
Which is something I kind of felt the garrisons in the base game were in Warhammer 2 were not very good at.
Master Seeker.
Yeah, they're still building that tower there, so. Everyone's got guard mode on. Like this bridge here. This is really cool. I stuck my Noblars around and put them up on the bridge, and they can throw daggers down onto the Skaven below. That kind of thing. And just having these ledges, which the enemy have to go around, are great spots for artillery. It's nice that settlements have a lot more in favor for the defenders.
Here we go.
Okay, move up a bit more.
Iron guts! Knock me there! Thundering fall!
And you can go under the bridges too.
We's Ogre mates.
Oh, big kitty cats are eating well tonight.
Ogres! Let's go, boys!
Hungry. Helps the tribe.
There's as many Noblars as there are Skaven there.
I ain't no gobbo.
Oh, yes! Biggest in the tribe! The Horde Master!
Poor Skaven.
Take it all.
They're all terrified.
Swarm together. Serve the ogres. Cracker, trapper, killer.
Oh, you've actually got speed 71. That's like faster than heavy cavalry.
Greasus Goldtooth!
Greasus is just kind of slow on his cart.
Call them.
Tyrant of tyrants!
How do my Noblars compare to Skaven Clanrats? Actually, they've got 4 more melee attack, 5 more melee defense, probably from buffs. Clanrats have got 26 weapon strength though, as opposed to 21. So we're not terrible.
Pray. When do we eat? I ain't no gobbo.
I do think the larger settlements does come with an issue of the AI maybe getting a bit confused onto where to go, which honestly was expected. I haven't had any major issues with it myself. But I have seen people mention that sometimes the AI can just sort of
I'll smell ya! Ogre hunter!
sit there confused of what to do. Did I? Hold on, let me have a think. On what I'm trying to remember.
Hold on to this one, boys! I ain't no gobbo! Meal time! Noblast! These ogre mates! Scourge a beast! Ah! Take it all!
Points ours, so it should be.
Okay, good. We got that.
The more cool.
Oh. There's actually some more Skaven over there.
Right.
Oh, there's their lord.
Fattest, strongest, richest.
Serve the ogres! I ain't no gobbo!
Oh, what are you doing over there?
This way!
Oh, well. There we go. Not surprised why Noblars have such as good leadership as they do. Yours is 53, so it's because these guys are within range of my lords. They have 33. Clan Rats have 45. But yeah, it makes things a lot more interesting during a settlement. And the settlement layouts are quite different, I think, per faction as well. The Skaven one's all twisty, whereas the Empire maps are a lot more ordered. I remember some of the Empire settlements having wide roads, which would make it easier for their cavalry to move around. As well as some platforms which you could put your artillery on. You also saw during the battle, maybe, that the Skaven had some of their ranged units up against the edges like they were on a wall, and it's when you do that they can it's a bit easier for them to fire down onto lower positions. Like in the settlement with walls. You don't actually get any meat from this. Okay, just occupy it.
Look here then. Vengeance soon, soon.
Okay, Brawler cut. Was that a new Skaven line? And we get the Ivory Road Province. We get 5,000 gold and a dragon helm.
Greasus, the shockingly obese
He is going to run out of food.
trade lord, tribe stealer, horde master.
Right, yeah, okay. You swap between them. That's right. Doesn't that count as a siege battle? I guess it's a settlement battle, not a siege. What do I want? You got Charmed Shield. Missile block chance, 24. You don't have a shield. Melee defense +7. Damage resistance would be useful. Yeah, sure. You can keep with that. Oh, yeah. There's also sets in this game now. You can see here, the Scepter of Titans is part of a set called the Crown Jewels. The shiniest of scepters and pimpiest crown. Only the Overtyrant can wear them. So when you get both of these, he gets a few more bonuses. 25% in Legion points gained for alliances with the Ogre Kingdom, plus 5 character order leadership effect, and leadership aura size plus 50%. And that's not just for unique items for lords either. In one of my campaigns as Costalton, I got a weapon called Worm Tooth or Dagger or something like that. It gave him frostbite on his attacks, and it was part of a set of, I think, 3 parts. So that's quite neat. I like that. I like sets in it, item sets in any game, because it's fun having to trying to collect them. Let's get greased Doblars. Getting him Vanguard Deployment just seems seems wrong. You get Foe Seeker to make him even faster for a temporary. Amount. We're getting you Rat Marcher. And you can get... What's this? Larger gut plate, sharpened spears, all a quiver, haha. Scarred Veteran, Foe Seeker, Quick Throw, Beast Slayer, ooh, extra 15 bonus versus large. You're a big git, but you're in bad shape. For me, it's a full-time job. Now behave yourself. 15 bonus versus large. Is that on his ranged attack, or is that on his melee attack? I guess it's on his melee attack. Elusive, fleet-footed, crippling throw. Oh, it gives him a magic missile. 3 uses. 30 seconds crippled. Melee defense minus 24. Speed minus 25%. 120 meter range. Okay. You have like a giant in the enemy army. You can hit him with that. Let's get Stalk for the cats. Okay. I'm going to have to actually reduce my army a bit. I can like force march back up into my territory. What do we have here for commandments? Plus 4 control. Minus 20% campaign movement range and plus 20 growth. Okay. That's kind of like one of the Kislev ones. Might makes right. Plague spreading minus and income from all buildings plus 5%. Crude ingenuity. Okay. Let's get growth.
No, blame you. Greasus, the shockingly obese.
Oh, you got 6 meat from that battle. You didn't really get that much at all.
Not sure about those guts.
Okay. What else can I get out of my army? Everything's just so hungry.
Maybe I should eat them. Tyrant of the tribe.
I'm going to abandon the camp. And I'm going to build it up over here again.
Bigger.
Perhaps I'm not understanding the best ways on generating food just yet. But it's a learning process. Okay. Oh! I got a Firebelly. Where is he? Oh, there he is. It begins as a drinking competition between bored bulls. but they make laughably short work of all the ale in camp. Desperate measures are thus required. Somehow, someone provides a steaming cauldron of lava. Dozens die, roasted from the inside. But one bull merely belches calmly and requests another sip.
I erupt.
Ooh.
Off we go.
I like the flaming sound behind his voice.
Eternal fire.
Rejoice, for the flame-belching voice of the volcano comes to share his marvelous tales. I did wonder whether ogres could have like a ice version of this. Actually, something I haven't heard.
Overtyrant. Greasus Goldtooth.
What's your annoyed dialogue?
That won't work. Can't be bothered. I say so. Greasus is better than that. That's a job for lesser tyrants. That won't work. Can't be bothered. Greasus is better than that. That's a job for lesser tyrants.
Okay.
Picket!
Oh, I'm too close to a settlement.
It's
Can we just
feasting time,
auto
boys.
resolve that?
Tucky boys.
Okay. Clan Morden is no more. We'll make a camp there,
The tribe.
and we'll generate meat.
Of bosses. The boss. Trade lord. Tribe state.
Okay. What do you say? Thanks, Greasus.
The fire mouth is a ghost, not a chance. Is this a joke? Not in a million years. Fire cannot flow there. The fire mouth is a ghost, not a chance.
Okay. What have you got? These are like lore of fire mages. I think they do have a unique ability though. Like a fire breath ability? Yeah, there, fire breath. Magic missile. In Flame Incarnate, they have melee damage reduction. Oh, and eruption. That's torn it. Now he's all angry like, I'd run if I were you. Boom. What else did he have? Scouting, spread control, damage walls, wound, block army, specialist. And he's got skills which buff some of those. Huh. Okay. That makes him cause terror. That increases his speed by 20% and gives him Vanguard Deployment. Sundering attacks, weapon strength +4. Armor +40. Does he get any more? No. Oh, another thing that's changed is, aside from other things to do with how the Wind of Magic work, Arcane Conduit is now passive. So it's not a skill you have to use. Which makes things a bit easier. I guess a ward save. Oh, weapon strength. Okay. Yeah, come down here.
The flames dance first.
And we will upgrade that. And here, I will get... Well, what counts as a local army? Is that in that region? Ooh, hang on. Yeah, I guess so. Income for all buildings, -50%. Okay, so that generates 100 income, so that would cut it to 50. Okay, so it doesn't cut income any higher. It just generates more meat. Okay. So you sort of have to sit near it. And stock up and then head out. I wonder how much meat you can carry. Is there a maximum? I don't see a maximum. Yeah, I want to see... Let's see. Oh. Warhammer 3. Ogre Kingdoms. Meat. Okay. That doesn't say anything about having a maximum amount of food. What is over here? Scrap towers. Oh, pig barter. I think that's yeah, that's over here. Man, the region looks so much different. I really like what the Darklands look like. I don't really know what I was expecting. No, I do. I thought the Darklands would be, I guess, kind of like the Ashlands in Morrowind, just covered in covered in ash and all the terrain just grey. But they've gone for this kind of like sort of barren mesa style setting, which is really neat.
Tyrant of the tribe.
I'm probably just gonna have to move you again. Do I get money back when I abandon you?
Can't help but notice you're not.
Non-aggression pact. Actually, hang on. No, I took a contract to deal with you. That's who Gad is. You're a bit stronger than me. No. Now we're going for time. Okay. What's this? Butcher's spices. Whatever it is he's using to flavor the meat makes it taste nicer and has some healing properties too.
Tribe Lord.
It's best not to ask.
More spoils here. Want everything.
Okay. Right. I'll just abandon that again.
Praise the fire, you shall shower in treasures.
And you can hop in there. What's your fire resistance? 40%. Have some more. You can have a pigeon plucker pendant. There we go. They got flaming magical attacks, but they're not really... They don't have the melee defense to really survive too long in combat. What's this trait? Big Daddy. There may or may not be a height difference between this one and his ogreish colleagues, but in stature on the battlefield, the divergence is most stark. +3 charge bonus. Oh, he doesn't get titles?
Make me an offer, and make it a good one.
What do you want? 300 for military access. You scratch my gut and I'll scratch yours. I go over here. Faction's this. I can't see. That's a different tribe to this one over here. Nah.
Boss of bosses.
Okay. March up here.
Trouble's brewing.
Generate some more meat. Now, I wonder whether the income minus income from all buildings would affect a cap which I put there. Where's the border between the two regions? There. Okay, so I think I'll make a camp here in the Great Hall of Greasus territory. That way it will cover this area, but it won't be in this region, so it won't be affected by the -2 income. If it is affected by it. I guess I can put it over here. I haven't been able to take advantage of making camps in enemy territory. Because I've just been going to war and taking them out in pretty much the same turn. What's this? Special sauce. The butchers have come up with something new, boss. Ketchup, they call it. It's red, but ain't blood. Comes from something called a tomato. Doesn't make no sense. Tribe's going crazy for it, though. What do we do about it? We catch it. There'll be bulls queuing up to fight for you if it means they get to splatter some of this red stuff on their lunch. Of course, they'll probably eat us out of the house and home. -2 meat generated all armies. Recruitment cost -25%. Okay. We don't eat fruit and veg. No self-respecting ogre stuffs anything that ain't meat down there more. Get the tribes back on a pure flesh diet and their guts will soon be bigger than ever. 20% growth of provinces. Well, I am going to be recruiting units soon. I mean, I tend to always think in long term, but...
Greasus, the shockingly obese.
Okay, so go to there.
I'm in charge at last.
Make a camp.
Rich to walk. I said
Go over here.
no.
I just completed another quest. To build... Oh, that counted as building another army. Okay. I mean, it covered the cost for building it. That's fine.
My army.
You're within range, and you should be generating, meat now. We can get tusks, too. Sure. Let's increase our trade potential.
There's no gaps bigger. Widen the doorways.
And we will recruit. Sure.
Do what I say.
Some ogre bulls with iron fists.
Anything they loot belongs to me. They work for Greasus now.
And
Join me. It's not a choice.
get some doublers.
Of the tribe.
And you can get that. Okay, and turn.
You've proven yourself useful to the Overtyrant.
Yes. I just had the thought. I think I have to change my thinking on these camps. I've been thinking of the camps as being,
Greasus Goldtooth.
I've been seeing the camps as being complementary to my actual permanent settlements. However, because they go up to level 5, they're pretty much my capitals.
Find me flesh.
It's just weird to me, but okay, I'm getting there. Right. Okay.
Greasus, the shocking.
The moment where I go, oh. Let's see. Control +1, melee attack +10, leadership +8. How do the big names work? Do they all, do you all always have to choose between? Uh-oh. Oh, good. The game was like, I'm thinking about it. I thought it crashed for a moment. Hold on. Help. Ogre Kingdoms. Big names. Okay. So every big name is temporary. Oh, not temporary, but every big name, you can only have one active at a time. I thought there were things like, you would unlock them and you would add them onto a list, but... Okay, well, in that case, I think I'll keep with Big Bellower, because that will give him extra leadership for the saber tusks nearby.
Trade Lord, Tribe Stealer.
Up over there.
Old Master. My army, my ogres.
Get some more Noblars. Yeah,
Everything they loot
get that.
belongs to me. The
Actually, if we're
Overtyrant.
going up against dwarves, want armor piercing? I don't have any armor piercing. Okay.
For the wisdom of Valea,
Well,
my axe thirsts for war.
whatever.
The Horde Master makes time for you.
No. I might be turning on you. Oh, hey. Ah, he went and net my dwarves.
Too rich to walk.
What do we get? Bigger spit. The bigger the spit, the bigger the meal. The more satisfied the diners. Protection racket. Something could happen, you know. You wouldn't want to be an accident, now would you?
Greasus looks after his boys. Whatever I decide.
Well, he took out the army, which means we don't get to eat dwarf. But we get to take their settlement. So... No. Greasus just rolls in. The army just stands there as he rolls past. Oh, I'll be taking that. Sure, let's play this. I want to have a look at the Dwarf Settlement. I haven't fought dwarves in Warhammer 3 yet. Oh boy. That's quite the thing. Okay, so it looks like there's 4 directions we can attack from. And the flag is in the center. Right. Okay. Massive hole in the roof. Ooh. Hey, neat. There's a broken bridge there with lava. Magma. A little watchtower, which is on fire. Massive carved pillars. And the walls with the towers. Oh, hey. Oh, it's a mine track down there. Okay, cool. Ooh. A lower floor section of a mine. The tunnel going underneath the, going underneath the wall. They've got a lot of, like, forging centers around here. Over here as well. Furnaces. I guess more mine tunnels. Hey, there's a bridge there too. I keep looking around these maps expecting to see like a little Skaven reference or something somewhere. Okay, and that's a bit of... Oh no, it's on the other side. Just a broken bridge. Okay, so what was that bit over the other side? Right, there's a bit of a... Okay, I guess that's where reinforcements can come in from. And there's the flag, all the way up the top here. That's a good spot for grudge throwers, if there ever was one. Okay. Well... There's more wall over there. And since we can all attack wall... Why are you always part off from the group?
The tracker.
Aren't you supposed to be hidden? Wait, how does that work? It's a passive ability. Ward save uses 1. How did it have 1 use if it's a... Damage resistance 15%, stalk unspottable, duration is infinite, enabled if out of melee. So I guess it's active from the beginning of battle, but once you go into melee, it turns off, and then it won't reactivate. Okay. Okay. You can go there. You can go there. Okay. Charge up here.
Greasus Goldtooth has never lost a fight, and I don't intend to start now.
Guts out, boys!
Not that anyone's willing to talk about anyway.
I ain't no gobbo. I'll smell ya. Ogre mates! Hungry! Eat them alive!
Go up there.
Scourge of beasts!
Okay, and charge the gate there. They're all hidden. I don't know why they have the miners on the wall there. Oh well. Probably just because my dudes were over here. But yeah, as ogres, we can just smack through the walls. Because we're big lads like that. Though, I think walls have more health in this game. And gates do too. Let's see. Fort wall, 8,000. Gatehouse, 6,000. Okay, the walls actually are tougher than the gate. Destroy buildings and siege vehicles. Sure. I guess that. Bonk. Yeah, okay. Get in there.
Ogres! Iron guts!
I can keep using that? That's not just a one-time use ability?
The strongest, the fattest. Serve the ogres!
Don't put your ladders up.
Find 'em
Up
and
over there.
kill 'em. Master Predator! So, I
Get in there. Get your cats out of the line.
biggest in the tribe!
Okay. Nice that we can destroy a corner section like that. You might not want to stand there, dwarves. It's going to be a bad idea. Yeah, hop off.
Hungry! This way! Ah! Crush them! I'll crush them!
Okay. Oh, actually, can I use this to destroy towers? No, it doesn't look like it.
The ultimate hunter! When do we eat? Ogres! When supper? Find a meal! Tribe needs it!
Come on. Charge in there.
Bring us me! Thundering forth! Rampage this way!
I guess you could go after them.
Fire is rife!
Okay.
I seek challenge! This way!
Here's another thing which they can build. So you can build barricades which block off streets. I don't know if they've got any around here. But you can also build these little monuments which give you bonuses when you're nearby. So this one gives 15% armor and plus 10 leadership. I think one for Kislev gave you melee defense
Iron guts!
instead of increased armor.
Strongest, richest. The more calls in my gut. The flame spreads.
Okay, you done there? Good. Hop up there.
Priest of the volcano. Ogre fire belly.
I can't actually attack the monument. You can attack the barricades.
Of tyrants. Overwhelm them. Spear them. Greasus Goldtooth.
I guess you could up down there. Oh, well. There we go. Yay. We haven't actually had a look at these saber-tooths. Saber-tooths. They're, they've got a lot more bones sticking out of them than I expected.
Gush out, boys!
Okay.
Killing time!
To get more meat, should we chase the enemy down?
Sure thing! This way! Done! Child of the volcano! Where's me master?
Oh, there he is.
I ain't no gobbo! Fire is life!
Okay, whatever. End battle. 125 losses. There was only a few of them though, anyway. I think the towers killed most of us. Okay. Might go for another 15 minutes. And we get some meat. Only 3. Still seems like quite a low amount. I mean, again, there wasn't that many defending the settlement, but... Oh, maybe... We would have got 5. But we got 3 because of that. Okay. We'll loot and occupy it. Gate Crasher. And we get a Noblars Chief. Noblars are stupid, but this one has shown the faintest spark of intelligence, so he has been promoted above his peers. Won a battle with Noblar unit. I guess until an ogre sits on him. And Caracazorn is no more. Sure, each of your armies have 40 meat. Well, that's easy. I've only got 1 army. Okay. And we got Tyrants with titles. See what I mean by these missions just, like, fueling my economy primarily? Get Armor of Fortune. And we have to make an offering to the Great Ball.
Greasus, the shockingly obese.
We'll start getting you magic.
The Overtyrant.
What else can I get for you? Bigger and stronger. When can I get camping? Level 12. Okay. Ooh, that actually gives me more food. I'm gonna get Raider.
More spoils. Nice and shiny.
Right. So Caracazorn is the capital of the region. It actually, for the dwarves, had like 6 building slots, but for us it's only a minor settlement. So right, that means yes, that our camps are the main way which we get our bigger troops. Yeah, Caracazorn Great Hall. Caracazorn was the dwarf keep founded in the mountains of Morn. It was cracked open by the ogres who drank keg after keg of dwarven ale. When owner is not dwarves. Minus 20% diplomatic relations with dwarves. Hang on. Now that's interesting. That's not on the main settlement building. That's actually a unique building for this settlement. But I wonder if that's like they're planning on adding something like that to every dwarven settlement. So that if another faction owns it, They end up getting a diplomatic relations penalty with dwarves just from owning a dwarven hold. Hmm. I think I've seen mods in the past, as far back as Warhammer 1, which had that in mind. What it would mean would be that if, like, the Empire ended up controlling this settlement, they would have -20 diplomatic relations with dwarves. I'm wondering, like, if they owned Zufbar or something, would it have the same effect? I haven't seen the dwarven settlements there to check. I haven't seen that distinction on a building or anything yet either, where it's specifically saying, you know, when an owner is not a dwarf. Okay, let's get rid of that.
Must feast. Tyrant of the tribe.
I think we're just out of range of our Great Hall. Okay, we'll build a spare tent.
Trade lord. Tribe stealer. Hold master. Tyrant. Got a war you need fighting?
No, we're... Got a non-aggressive pact with you. Booger. Okay. Here's the fire mouse. This is the big volcano which the fire belly ogres worship. That is quite the volcano. Also interesting that we started a campaign and the camera was already turned. Non-aggression should be renamed to non-devouring. These lads aren't on the menu. Hello. Welcome, Griffgon. How's the Minecrafts? I've been doing a bit of multiplayer with Griffin God and others in Minecraft. An interesting mod. We had to start by beating rocks together to get more technology. Slow progress for me learning on how to do that, but...
Overtyrant. Greasus Goldtooth.
Let's see. A little bit of fun. Good to hear. I do enjoy the mod. It's very interesting. It takes me a while to figure out how to, like, go about doing things. It'll be very interesting to see where things move on to. Have to do some more later. Do I want to do any of these? Global recruitment? No, my army's fine. Okay.
Greasus, the shockingly old.
Let's get Tusk Market. And...
We ain't happy.
Huh. Okay. Maybe contracts actually have a limit on them. Oh. Where am I going to go next? Might go down here. There's greenskins down there. That's getting closer to the chaos, though, because around here is where Norskins are, and then I think Kurgath starts up here. Of course, Kislev is over here, and that means all the demons. Those lads over there. Yeah, maybe we'll go up that way. Okay, we get new contracts. Does that mean I kept my old contract? Ooh. Oh, we actually have a battle for the Overtyrant's crown. We don't have one for his weapon, but we have one here. Greasus is determined to stamp his authority as Overtyrant on all the Ogre tribes. So when the most powerful Black Orc war boss of the Mountains of Morn launches a war deep into Ogre territory, Goldtooth moves to bring him to battle on the slopes of the sacred Firemouth volcano. Once this usurper has been trodden into the dirt, then Greasus may wear his basin-sized crown with unassailable pride. Black Orc? Garsnag the nose picker. That's gobbos. Oh, reinforcements expected. Okay.
Hold, master.
Should I upgrade my army before I do that?
My army, my ogres.
Costelton's battle for his brazier was quite difficult.
Tribe lord.
With the army I had at the time I did it. Let's get Big Slab.
The Overtyrant.
And I will upgrade.
Tyrant of the tribe.
Okay. Do I still have my other contract? Yes. Okay. Capture 2 provinces. What's the other regions for this? That one. And that one.
Get it done.
Okay.
Too rich to walk.
I can hire some ogreable mercenaries.
They work for Greasus now.
What are we getting next? Oh, right. Protection racket.
Trouble's brewing.
What have we got here? Growth increase. And control. Okay, that's fine.
Boss of bosses. The boss. There's no gaps bigger.
Okay, well, you're fine just sitting there. We'll just stock you up with meat.
You here to pay me tribute or what?
You again. No. Get out of here. There we go. What's this? Offer a total of 50 meat to the Great Maw. The hunger of the Great Maw is insatiable. Make plentiful offers to gain the full blessings of the Ogre God. Surplus meat can be offered to the Great Maw in return for army bonuses. Blah blah blah. Reward: 1,000 gold and Siegebreaker. A huge two-handed obsidian club used by the tyrant Bruto Thundergut to smash his way into the sky castles thousands of years ago. 10% weapon strength. Attribute Siege Attacker. Okay. And Siegebreaker as a bound spell. Which had 3 uses. Didn't we already have that? And it didn't have, like, a limited number of uses on it? How did that work? What was giving me that? I'll give you the Armor of Fortune. And you've got the Noblar Chief. Okay. Is it just something which we get whenever we siege? Because it sounds really nice, but like Siege Attacker. Don't we already all have Siege Attacker? Yeah, all ogres have already got Siege Attacker. So you get it. It's really just a 10% weapon strength.
Do what I say.
Oh, actually, wait on the turn for that.
Trade Lord, Tribe Stealer,
Fine, you can sit in there.
Master.
Actually, something I've noticed is that if you have a character in encamp mode, they still have a direction to move somewhere. At the end of the turn, they will actually hop out of encamp mode and move. Which is something they didn't do in Warhammer 2. Because you could put them into encamp mode. And see, he's encamped now, and you couldn't actually move him until you took him out of encamp mode. But it looks like...
Move your leg meat.
Okay, so it works differently. In Warhammer 2 and 1, if you put them in encamp mode, they couldn't move at all until you moved them out of it. In this, they will maintain encamp mode. But their movement will be reduced appropriately. Okay.
Oh, mine.
Upgrade that.
Greasus, the shockingly obese. Anything they loot belongs to me.
What are you thinking? Aversion and strategic threat.
Got no reason to kill you right now. Gets me what I want. Happening because I said so.
Yeah, sure. Well, we have to wait like 10 turns anyway, but I kind of want to expand up this way.
Too rich to walk.
Okay. Consider Confederation. Let's get an Ogre Throng so I can get another camp.
Look what I got for ya.
And I will get Flaming Sword of Ruin.
The Overtyrant. Web anything.
Let's go raid their territory because Nerna. Oh, hang on. Just there. There we go. We're in range of our camp. So we'll still be like getting the benefits of the food, but we'll be raiding their territory.
Whole world is ours.
Yes, I just broke my non-aggression pact with them, but I'm not at war with them, but I'm raiding their territory anyway. What are they going to do? Stop me? Okay.
The Tome of Fate calls to me, foretelling of a way to elude the Maelstrom and enter the realm of chaos. The dying god will roar again. We must prepare. Muster an army that can withstand the terrors you shall face.
Yeah.
Boss of bosses.
Maybe. Again, I'm probably just going to go around doing my own thing. Should I have an overarching goal for this campaign? It's kind of like around until turn 100, 120 when the AI will probably win. I don't know. I'll probably just go about doing what I want. Oh yeah, this is something which I really like. They've got these little points of interest icons on the map now, which tell you about points of interest, which is really neat. One tells you about the fire mouth there. And they only show up when you've got like line of sight of an area.
The boss.
Okay, you can get the recruiters table. I guess you could just upgrade all of those. And you require 8 for the next one. Okay. Let's get a loot pile. Make money. That actually gives me capacity for hunters. Okay, build that and build the war pit.
There's no gap bigger.
And enter.
Don't go thinking you can talk us out of conquest.
Okay. You got 50 tolerance for me. And 13 treaties. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Since I'm going the other way. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Upgrade settlement to level 5. 7,000 treasury. You get 3 items. The other trickster's shard, glittering scales, and fencer's blades.
Tribe Lord. I will. The Overtyrant.
Let's go up here. Roll this way. Okay. I like the look of the Ogre settlements. Actually does look a fair bit like the orc buildings in World of Warcraft. Just the sort of like hide roofs and the tusks being used as pylons.
Biggest gut in the land.
Okay, get loot hoard. What's it say about this? A tribe or camp spoils of war are piled high, minus the tyrant's pickings, of course. A larger pile of loot gathered from victims, battlefields, and sacking of settlements. The bigger the hoard, the more status the tribe gains. Okay. Let's go. Let's do one more battle, I think, for tonight.
Thinking you can talk us.
Sure. Whatever. How many more turns do I have before they get upset with me if I declare war on them?
That's it. You're going in my gut.
6 turns.
Boss.
Okay.
Bosses.
I guess we'll just wait over here for a moment. Sure. Generate more meat.
Oh mine. Overtyrant.
Have anything else I can get?
Greasus Goldtooth. Goldtooth.
No. Okay, in turn. Oh, well. The Lazarks have been destroyed. We get Trade Lord. What happened to them? I think they got taken over by the Bloodborne tribe. Maybe? Hang on. Yeah, they were around here. Okay then. Well.
Moore's prophecy. Must feast Greasus, the shockingly obese.
Thank you. Let's get, I guess, more income from raiding. I kind of want him just to be able to, I kind of want him to just finish that giant, like, chicken leg that he's got. He just keeps eating away at it. It's going to be eating it for the rest of the campaign.
Ogres are unstoppable.
Not really anything else I want on that.
Master.
So what was this battle? Yeah, show me. Wait, hang on. How do I see the army? Oh, there we go. Huh. Goblins. And it's not saying that there's going to be reinforcements anymore. It should probably do that.
Trade Lord. Tribe Stater.
Let's have a try at that battle. I'll save if things go terribly wrong.
Too rich to walk.
Okay. Get bloody and raw. And we'll teleport to the quest battle. There we go. Doesn't actually show you the reinforcements either. Valiant defeat. What are you talking about? It's just a bunch of gobos. Ugh. The Overtyrant's crown lacks its distinctive gleam of late due to the incursion of the Black Orc boss who dares to claim the mountains of Morn for himself. He needs to be crushed, his skull stamped hard into the ash on the mountainside of the Firemouth. Then the crown will shine up real good. But this orc is cunning. One of the reasons he has grown to become such a threat. He surrounds himself with goblins so he may cast them into battle caring not of their fate, while keeping his boys back to do the real damage. Okay. They've got quite a lot of archers. I've got a lot of cats. I should give my hunter the title of cat herder.
My crown ain't as shiny as it used to be. That's your fault. You let this orc rampage through my lands without giving him any bother. That stops now. This battle's gonna be huge. That ain't no lie. And no one lies better than me. I broads this git here. Now, we're gonna swallow him whole, chew on his eyeballs, and throw his nags into the fire now. Right? Let's get to it!
Really? Okay. Do orcs even have those? I guess. Oh, hang on. Oh, I don't want you going over there. I want you there. Hang on. Hold up. Hold up. Okay. You go there. You go there.
The more calls. Me! Find a
There we go. While we hold the high ground, we have the advantage. Okay.
nasty plan.
Ha ha. Ha ha.
Greasus Goldtooth. All together.
When supper? When do we eat?
Become a wall of meat. I'll smell ya.
Oh, that's my stone horn. It's all the way over there. Come on, get over here.
Greasus Goldtooth.
Don't be stumpy. Okay. First up, though, I'm gonna have a look around the map. Uh-huh. Lava, lava. They really have improved in their terrain design. And also just visuals. I'm pretty sure that mountain in the background there is part of the skybox. It looks rather flat? Yeah. So this here, this is part of a, well, it's a 2D image superimposed over the background. Or over the clouds. And then you've got this mountain in the front. That's quite cool. I've seen they've used that a few times. In Kislev, they have mountains in the background, which tower over the battlefield, and it does provide a better visual, I think, than having them actually being 3D models, because you don't get the. I think the image looks a bit better. Distant 3D models can look a bit odd. And there's a big hole there. And 3 holes in the ground. And they've got cages above the lava. I wonder whether this fire god is lactose intolerant. Oh, there's a little camp here. I think this is a camp of a Kislev camp. Even though that one's got fleur-de-lis on it. I remember seeing the same tents in a Kislev settlement. It could be camping Bretonians. Oh, nice. They've got like a rock. Which has been fired out of the volcano. It's made a bit of a furrow in the ground. And down there, you can see more of those 2D mountains in the background. Okay, that's enough. Looking at the terrain. Okay, go over here. Noblars!
I ain't no gobbo.
Hop back over there.
Oh, yes.
And go charge them. Goblins versus Noblars. Poor goblins. Uh-oh. They came from behind. What's this? Okay. Goblins on spiders, squigs. That's the Ogre Kingdom I know from the tabletop. Damn it. Jeez. We just charged them and broke them.
I want it all.
Okay. Go tidy them up. I'm gonna keep my hunter out of range of them so that they don't detect him for the moment.
A new adventure.
Actually, there's a lot more goblins down there than I thought. There's all the night goblins. Okay, dismember them.
Stalker of prey.
Bonk.
When do we eat? Greasus Goldtooth.
Come on.
When do we eat? It's happening. Unbrave. No loss attack.
My trappers are keeping them busy.
I ain't no cover.
Oh, he's actually revealed himself because he's
Prey.
been shooting his
Fattest, strongest, richest.
because he's been shooting his harpoons or spears.
Smell game. Hunting. Ingenious.
Okay. You can go. Let's see. Go up here. Chase those nasty skulkers. Go over there. Oh, hello. Welcome, welcome. Oh, thank you very much for the raid, Wex. How's it going? How did it go?
Ogre hunter.
What did you end up deciding on streaming?
Shall burn.
Let's see. I will replenish your hit points.
Iron fists.
The ultimate hunter.
Okay. I keep thinking these have fled because their portrait is grey. But that's just the portrait's gone grey because they've gone out of control. They haven't actually routed. Keeps throwing me off slightly. Chess Commando's a Dreadbore. Oh.
I seek prey.
Child of the volcano.
The quarry is mine. My next trophy.
Wind supper. Tribe needs it.
Okay, you can go over there.
The flame.
You can go over there.
Master Seeker.
Forest goblins. I wonder if I could get my saber-tooths, like, anti-large.
Ogre hunter. Prey.
Call me Overtyrant.
I was going to say, I think there's supposed to be orcs around here. Right, there they are, black orcs.
Ogres in my gut.
It's a little what I was afraid of.
Take it all.
All of the missiles.
swarm together! The quarry is mine! Ready!
Okay.
Seeking prey!
You are faster than wolf riders. You're just constantly out of control, aren't you? Maybe I should bring my hunter over.
I'll crush them. Ogres!
Okay.
Me! Biggest in the tribe!
How's Warhammer 3 treating me? Pretty well. Having to learn how to play as the Ogre, so. Oh. I've only played as Kislev so far. What?
Greasus Goldtooth.
Running? Okay.
Immortal.
These ogre mates! Ogre hunter!
Hunter, get out of there.
Scouting! Stalking game!
Okay. Okay, they're forming up over there.
Biggest in the tribe. Guts out, boys.
I've got a bunch of ogres just sitting around doing nothing.
I want it all. My decision.
The ultimate hunter!
They're just constantly hunting those nasty skulkers over there.
The whole master.
Let's do this.
Don't need each other. Over here.
Iron Guts, you can have something to eat.
Overtyrant.
Okay. There we go.
The quarry is mine! Serve the ogres!
Seeking needs. Looking for me. Goldtooth on the move.
Most prudent!
Oh yeah. So apparently goblin big bosses can now be on a chariot. They only had a wolf mount before. That's pretty nice.
Grabber!
I think all the goblin heroes could only have wolves as mounts.
Bring us meat. Fire is life.
Tracking, chasing, prey! Hunting!
Greasus Goldtooth. Behold my
Drink your potion of speed.
the Overtyrant. Eternal. Devour them.
The tracker!
Hey.
Ogre hunter! Hunter moving!
Charge there.
The
It suits me.
Greasus Goldtooth.
I want you to debuff those guys.
Tyrant of tyrants.
Some of the lads are fleeing.
I smell gay.
Those squigs are just bouncing around. They don't really have a target. That's fine.
On fire.
For the master.
Oh, we've actually broken the
Fattest.
Orc War Boss.
Richest.
In my sights.
Where are you?
Hungry.
Oh, you're over there.
Looking for me.
Fine. Okay. Well, you're very beaten.
The ultimate hunter.
But I...
Wait, Ogre, mate.
Oh, hang on.
The more cool.
Go over there.
Greasus Goldtooth.
I see him roll around. It's a great model for him. It's kind of funnier seeing him on the wheelbarrow. Like, I would have liked to have seen him on his carpet thingy, but the wheelbarrow, I think, is a perfectly fine compromise. You can go over there.
Greasus Goldtooth.
Priest of the volcano.
What hasn't broken yet? The Orc War Boss.
Most prudent. Looking for
Greasus Goldtooth.
Oh no, my saber tusks broke. Oh, they must have rallied. And then turned around. Okay. Bonk. Pyrrhic victory. Yeah. You might have lost a unit of iron guts, but oh well. I'm surprised at how good of a work even the Noblars do. 73, 117 on one of them. 0 for all of my trappers, but, well, they held up the enemy for a little bit. Okay, and... let's see, what were they called? Garstag. Sneak Backbiter. And Urk Ironjaw. Process meat. There we go. And we get the Overtyrant crown. Ooh. Ward save 5% in 35 meters.
Greasus, the shockingly obese.
Okay. Is there any other things you could get to, like, buff Sabertooths? I mean, aside from immune to psychology, we'll get that. I'm gonna get you lookout Doblars. Some missile resistance would be good for you. Because you tend to be around the back lines where the enemies ranged are. And you can get the Burning Head. And we'll get Fire Breath from you. For you.
Trade Lord, Tribe Stealer, Horde Master.
And you will get Raider level 3. And we'll get Camping. Wealth, greed, and glory are enough to make any base war camp swell in size.
Looks valuable, I'll have it. Greasus needs a rest. They work for Greasus now.
Okay, let's get...
Anything they loot belongs to me.
Uh,
My army. My
there we go.
armies.
Okay. I think before we finish, I'm going to have a look a bit more over the research tree to see what we have to go for. Let's see, camp growth. Better bribes. All that riding makes one a bit sensitive and hurty, but this miracle substance made from the bile left over from certain types of dinner works wonder, and in no time. Gold standard. Dinner gong. Control. -4 in enemy provinces where an army is present. Oh, okay. So is there anything I can get which will buff Sabertooth? -5% upkeep. Ooh. Warpstone Brop. Applying Warpstone to steaks before cooking them keeps the number of mutations down. Okay. -15% chance of plague spreading. -50% casualties suffered from chaos, undivided corruption, and chaos waste attrition. Creature of fire. There's another camp limit. Overeaten. -100 growth. Armies in enemy region. Though it tends to lead to gut aches and even more chronic flatulence than usual, there's sense in depriving the enemy of supplies, so they have to fight you in a weakened state. I've noticed that in Warhammer 3, there is a lot of ways to really reduce growth in a region or a province. Like this is -100. Chaos corruption can get up to -300. And a province can be affected by 2 different types of corruption at a time. Or, you know, at least 2. I've seen a province with high Zinch and Slanesh corruption. And it had -600 growth in that region. I took a settlement in Norska as Castelton, and while I was able to defend it with an army, there was just no growth there. So I ended up abandoning it because it wasn't really doing anything for me. Now, I could eventually, like, reduce the corruption by taking out the other enemies around the region, but it's interesting and neat that you can so heavily penalize factions. That seems like it would really affect even the AI. We usually have quite large growth bonuses. Gone off meat. This meat's well past its best, but hardy ogre constitutions can probably still handle it. The price reflects this. Meat generated 5. Okay. So you can actually get some passive generation of meat on armies. Tribal gathering. Sinewy bindings, weapon strength increase, trade reward for contracts, treasury reward, income from camp buildings 30%, weapon strength 5% for saber tusk packs. Okay, there we go. Ambush success chance 25%, armor 10 for man eaters, 500 defensive supplies per turn while under siege. Faction wide. That's nice. Reduction in upkeep for Noblars and scrap launchers. Trade increase. Mercenary tithe. Another 5% upkeep reduction for infantry. 50% extra meat provided by camps. And population surplus 1 for newly deployed camps. And camp limit +1. Okay. Well, okay, so it doesn't seem like there's anything too major there for giving bonuses to Sabertooths. Apart from what? The 5%? Wherever it was? 5% weapon strength increase?
Must feast.
So, yeah.
Enough meat for everyone.
What else do I want around here?
Tyrant of the tribe.
I think I'm just waiting on you to grow. I need more money, which we'll get from you.
There's no gut bigger.
Oh, you actually hung around, even though you only had one in the unit. Okay.
Tyrant.
If I get you up another level, I'm going to be able to get lead belchers. And also Mournfang cavalry. That'll be nice. Oh, and what was I going to get? Yeah, let's get ravening hordes.
Greasus looks after his boys.
Okay, and we'll end turn. And I think we'll probably call it there for tonight.
You or what?
Bull mallet hands. You're not the ones I planned on attacking, so sure, I'll have a trade agreement with you.
Overtyrant. Greasus
Okay.
Goldtooth. Obey me.
Well, that's fine.
Ready to conquer.
I'll upgrade you. You're fine. Let's get... Yeah, maybe... Actually, let's hold off on that. And... What? Oh, my fire belly is called Smash Gooder. Okay. Okay. And I was going to call you... There we go. Oh, it doesn't show up there. Boo. Not even up there. Just shows his title. So what's the point of calling him that? If it doesn't show up anywhere. Ah. Oh well. I'd have to I think I'd have to change his
Call the shots here.
main name.
Get out if you don't like it.
Oh, they declared war on me. Fine by me. I was going to do that anyway.
I'll scrub my gut with your spine.
Actually, let me try something. If I put that up there. Right. I can't really fit it there because there's a limit. So, oh well.
Greasus. Shockingly
Okay. So I think we will save it there, and we'll continue with this next time. I don't know how long this session will go. This series will go. Maybe 3 sessions. It is just the base game. And I look forward to like when mods come out. And of course, the Immortal Empires. Probably one of the first mods I will check out will be something which will put a hold on the whole soul searching. Just so that we can, like, I don't know, see and get a feel for the factions without having to, like, go after the souls. I do like the Realm of Chaos mechanic. But we're one turn away from, I think we're like one or a few turns away from the portals opening up, and then the AI is going to run off and start collecting the souls. And I'm not very... I haven't done much of that yet. And I don't really want to do that in a campaign. So, yeah, because, I don't know. I like setting my own goals. But, anyway. So, we'll save it there, and we'll continue with this next time. It's an enjoyable game, don't get me wrong. I like the campaign a lot. The part of it's just... I feel like a lot of people, including CA, have already covered the campaign. So there's not really much for me to show off there. I prefer to sort of go off and do my own things. Anyway, well, thank you very much for joining, and I hope you join me again next time.